It's time.
Crazy talk.
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Ooh.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Gary Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Attention GarrForce, attention. The Central Florida Flight Control Ops Center is closed for routine maintenance. Switching frequencies to the Waukesha Control Center. Over to Wisconsin Charter Flight Operations in 3,
2, 1. It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
It's the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour live.
Cocktails, woo, drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central on April 28th, 2023.
And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa.
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
And we may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live.
Come on. Leslie, I'm putting the good karma out there.
Can't we all just get along?
Here we go. Boom. Shakalaka. Hey, everybody. Hello. I'm your host, Gary Miller. I am here to do the devil's business. Welcome, one and all. And as you saw at the opening there, the control center is in Wisconsin. Ryan is driving the bus because Alan is immersed in everything D-World in Orlando. I don't know why we need to know who's running the bus, but we do have that now the second week in a row. Ryan, you are doing a fantastic job as we are without Alan for this show again. All right. Anywho, what we have to do to get the wheels up, kick the tires, light the fires. Let's get those tires up. Let's light them up, Ryan. Here we go. But one more sequence has to happen. The 4 cycles of a jet engine: suck, squeeze, bang, blow. All right, we've got the tires. We kick them. We light them. On the cocktail show, we have one more cycle. That is the removal of the wine condom. Hello, Leslie.
Hey, everybody. So is this the bang or the blow part, or is it combined? But
We'll call it the bang blow.
okay, sounds
Yeah.
like fun. Once again, and it's not Friday, it's Friday, according to Sandy, and I love that. So
All right.
here you go. I got me an Oyster Bay Chardonnay, and I have some
Buoyancy?
pressure. Yes,
Good.
I do have.
I think it's going to blow. It's going to
Is
bang
there
or
a
blow.
cat that needs to be watched out
Is
for?
there a
No,
cat?
okay.
Watch their eyes. Watch their eyes. Watch it. Uh-oh.
Misfire.
A dribble off. Oh.
Okay, so maybe this is an indication that I need to get some more condoms. We're down to our last few, and this one's been used several times, and I don't think they recommend that you overuse condoms, right?
Well-
Don't you just throw them in the river or something?
Yes, your local water retention area, and that's where they belong.
Usually where you find on the sidewalk outside a park or someplace. Yes, I'll
Right,
figure
on the
out what to
street,
do.
so the kids could see them and have a
and
laugh.
go, Mom, what's that balloon doing down
Are
there?
you having a laugh? That was the condom. That was something that was a prank when I was in high school. Somebody would take a condom, extend it, and then hang it from the flagpole in front of a classroom. And then as you came in, oh, look at that. That's what we did. But we had the dud a few weeks ago, and didn't you want to do it again?
Do you want to do it again? Shall we?
Because I think the
can't.
second time you did it after that dud a few weeks ago, it did launch. We had a failure to launch. That was like the
Wait.
SpaceX rocket that blew up. It just didn't
Oh yeah.
go.
And I like the way they kind of were like, well, yeah, it blew up, but we learned from it,
We
and
learned. It's a $1 billion lesson.
don't even worry about
Yeah,
it.
it's a write-off. You know what that
Okay,
is, don't
so
you?
let's try again.
Come on. Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay,
got
there
right. You got something out of that one.
we.
Sometimes you got to wait a few minutes and go again.
Talking about high school hijinks.
I was going to just say, I got to talk about this. I know what you're going to say. Say it.
Okay, there's a private school in Niles, Illinois, and apparently some of the kids decided they were going to do that senior prank thing, and it went a little haywire on them. They
Okay.
bought a calf online.
A
I
cow.
mean, moo. Yeah, it looked like it wasn't a full size cow, but like a young steer maybe.
Okay.
And they also had procured a pig and some chickens. Well, the chickens apparently belonged to one of the kids' families, so they had no problem with that, but the cow got loose.
Yeah. They bought this cow and then went and picked it up somewhere and brought it to the high school,
High
got
schoolers,
loose,
yeah.
and you'll see this on the net. It's a big story. The cow is running all around this neighborhood. They're lucky it didn't kill somebody.
Right.
And you know how that goes. Lawsuits aplenty. But that's the high school prank of today. Let's
Right.
buy a cow. Let's get it to the high school with what other a pig? They had
A pig and some chickens, yeah.
and they were going to let all this loose in the school.
In the hallways, I'm assuming. I
Oh,
mean,
that's
what's the
brilliant.
point otherwise? Well, and this is where I think I love the adults who are involved in all this, because they're saying we're not going to expel these kids, but what they made them do, like by mid-afternoon, they had to go door to door throughout the neighborhood, ring the doorbell of every house that this cow had run past, and apologize to the people for their stupidity. And I went, isn't that's the way an adult should handle this? You guys go out there, make it right.
That's a good punishment because these days you could be shot to death by the homeowner.
I
Right?
hadn't thought of that. I do have a story about that. So
Okay.
yeah, people have been getting a little shooty lately.
A little shooty. All right, we have to acknowledge some of the comments that have already come in. Keely Ann, first out of the chute, as she always is. I followed Leslie's advice and went rim to rim with my schnauzer. What she's referring to, if you missed that show, a 91-year-old man went rim to rim at the Grand Canyon, a backpacking expedition, and he did the rim to rim. And then at the end of the show, when I asked Leslie what we should do with the schnauzer, she said, go rim to rim. Keely Ann has picked up on that.
Thank you, Keely-Ann.
All right.
Great minds thinking alike.
Martin from British Columbia is here just about every week, and we love the international listeners. Hello, Martin. And Dale, Indy 500, 1 month away. Okay, I'll mark my calendar.
Cool.
All right. And I've been to the Indy 500 twice. It's one of those spectacles you should do at least once in your life. It's pure Americana. And ooh, wow. A lot of people.
I started pricing out tickets to the NASCAR event in Chicago, and I can tell you we will not be attending.
Oh, okay. Even though it's in your backyard.
The price is a little steep, and then when you start getting into the VIP packages,
Give me a ballpark.
The VIP where you've got access to the hospitality tent and blah 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 and all this stuff. I think it's like $3,000 a piece for those tickets.
Oh, very reasonable.
Otherwise, oh sure, bring the kids.
And because it's very close to where that fracas happened a few weeks ago, there's a hostility tent that has been set up, and you can go there
Sure.
and get beaten up for
Yeah.
half the price.
Come on in.
All right. And who else has checked in? Lloydster, good to see you every week here, brother. Let's see. I'll have to catch a later flight. I need to practice for tomorrow's gig. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever that means. David R. Great news. My wife says Be nice to the Schnauzer and it will be nice to you. Oak Lawn, Illinois.
Oh,
That's a good
okay.
bumper sticker. Charles from WRLR from Lake Villa, Illinois, checking in. Schnauzer request, take it for a long walk.
Okay. Can
Okay.
do.
Greg, how are you? Hi there to everybody from Dacula or Dacula, Georgia. It's one of those, I think, checking in. I've never really landed on it.
There's certain things that just don't stick. Wait till he brings out the screen door, everybody.
Here it is. Is that right? Is it?
There we go.
That's why we had to do that. I can't get it right.
No, and now you really, dude.
I got it.
No.
Okay.
Now you got
I'm
it.
an idiot. Hello. Thomas and Deb checking in from Ohio, Marysville, Ohio. Ruth, Kentucky Oaks, the Derby in a week. Speaking of events coming up. All right, Ruth, have a mint julep on me. And Johnny from Michigan, he's going to confession tomorrow. Do they still do confessions in the Catholic Church?
I recently went to confession just before Easter, and
wow,
it had been a long, long time, and it was an interesting experience, and I recommend it.
All right, well,
confession is good for the soul, as they say.
Jim Foster's checking in, a former producer of mine. Hello, Jim. Jim's going to send me more booze. He said, I got some booze I want you to try. I'll do it. Scott, hello. Dan. And speaking of what you were just speaking of, whoops, what were you just speaking of? I'm sorry, that screen door, there's some kind of paint on there.
I don't know. We were talking about racing. There
no,
was
before, right 2 seconds.
Confession?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I hope that's not a something. My dear friend and guest of this show in the past, Richard Lewis, announced that he has Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of news I'm getting almost all the time now from friends. Either a friend died, a friend has Parkinson's, a friend has MS, and I'm thinking, if this is the run, well, that's why I'm going to do this at least once a week, maybe more. Anyway, I called Richard, and oddly enough, he sounded the best he's sounded to me in years, because he's got the right medication, and he said if you get Parkinson's later in life, it's a slow mover, and that's a good thing.
Cool.
And he will be on which is looking like the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO. And as soon as it's announced when the final season starts, he's going to come on and talk to us about the final season and his Parkinson's, and he'll make it all funny. I have been watching him over the years on these Carson reruns that come up on one of the cables. And two of the lines that I will never forget, these are lines where when I say something and then years later somebody says to me, do you remember saying this? I get such a chubby because somebody remembers a line that I said. Here are two, these are from 40 years ago. These shows aired in the early 80s. Reagan had just become president, and he said, I don't know if this is good, but I went to my apartment building and they had a handgun vending machine that was just set up. And then he's talking about how his family was doing a road trip from New Jersey to San Francisco, and they're a half hour away from home in New Jersey. And he sees his mother taking out a bunch of coins, and he said, what are you doing? And she says, I'm getting the tolls ready for the Golden Gate Bridge. That they had just left New Jersey. I mean, that's yeah. They don't have tolls. I don't think they have tolls on the Golden Gate Bridge, do they?
That
doesn't matter. The joke is
they do, as a matter of fact.
Getting the change ready. We're about 5 days away. Got to get the change ready.
Wait, and I hope I'm not taking you down a blind alley here, but what was the other comment he had? He described his mother.
Right.
Because she was a loud woman.
Yeah, she was a very boisterous woman, and he said she was a bowling alley with lipstick. And here's another one. I was invested in this nightclub in Chicago, and he was in town, and I brought him over there, and he walks in, and he said, within 5 seconds, he goes, "It looks like a gay shipwreck." That kind of, I love that. It's so unique. Okay. Well, he seems to be okay. Hopefully the medication will work. All right. The confession. I remember now when you said, "Oh yeah, I just went recently." The last time I was at church, which has been a while, I was near the
It
confessionals.
was Notre Dame, and then the lightning struck and it caught fire. And
Notre Dame Church in France, lightning, church starts on fire. Hey, okay, remember that for a minute because I'm going to a lightning strike that happened last week that's connected to us, kind of.
okay.
So I'm in church, I'm near the confessional booth, and somebody opens the door and it was being used as a storage locker. There was just a bunch of stuff stored in there. So I thought, well, confessions are over. They're not doing that anymore, but apparently they are. It's such a weird concept. You go in this box and you say stuff, and I don't know how you do yours, but when I was a kid, I didn't give many details. I was vague and I generalized. Well, I did something bad.
Disrespected my parents.
Yeah.
a
I'm
little
not going
bit.
to get into, I found a Playboy and I had stirrings. I'm not going to say that. Oh,
My sister was talking about the first time she went to confession, and she was so, we're talking like 7, 8-year-old kids here, was so freaked out by the experience. The priest slides the little door open, and she said, I went mute. I couldn't speak at all. The throat closed up. I freaked out. And he went, "We'll get back to you in a minute." And
Yes.
closed the gate.
Right
went
after
to
these
somebody else.
words.
Exactly.
I went to Donna here. I went to confession before Easter, and the priest gave me a part in the Bible to read
Oh,
on
on
a
a
post-it
Post-it.
note. Wait a minute. There's got to be a barrier there, right? How did he get it to
No.
you?
Oh, no.
Whoa,
These
whoa, whoa, whoa,
days,
whoa, 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 what?
face to face.
No. I need a barrier, and I need kind of a bathroom window
Screen.
kind of thing where you
Yeah,
can't really
okay.
tell.
Right. It usually was like a metal screen with like some sort of cloth barrier. No,
Really?
face to face. It was hard to make eye contact. I gotta
Oh,
tell you,
no.
it's like one of those moments. Yeah, but it was also a priest I don't know, so it was fine.
It's
Go
not the
ahead,
guy
take that with you.
That's not the guy that really does a number on your head.
No, it was not my usual
Who
parish
violates
priest.
your forehead every Ash Wednesday, and then you walk out of there and people go, "Nice Ash."
My grandmother was the mother to 2 priests. And when they were in the seminary, all the young priests would come over and she'd make them big dinners. And so she knew all the priests. And so she would have to get on a bus and go to a faraway parish to find a priest that didn't know her. Because it'd be like, "Oh, Mrs. K, what are you up to these days?"
That's a whole weird
Yeah.
concept. It really is. But hey, if it works for you, whatever.
We do all of our confessing here, right here.
Pretty
with
much.
You guys.
Yeah. And by the end of this Manhattan, the
Oh,
stories
it all comes out.
come running. That's a good one. That's a delicious one. All right. Lightning. Last week on the program, Jason Johnson, the founder of ProjectCanineHero.org. It's a sanctuary in Tennessee that takes in dogs that have retired from the TSA and police departments around the country. Later that evening, the sanctuary was struck by lightning. Ryan, you want to come on because we've got some visuals here.
Yeah, I'll load them up here.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, maybe a tree split or something. I don't know. No, big
That's
damage.
the dog kennel. That looks like one of the pictures from the dog kennel.
All the dogs are fine. None of the
Yes.
dogs were injured, but there was extensive damage. And this is the fried electrical box.
Look at that.
Yeah,
There's all over inside. Those pictures look just like that. Anything that was electrical was like blown.
He said in the release that he put on the net, $50,000 in damage.
Yep. And they're trying to get it. They're trying to get it done now before the insurance covers, just because they've got to get back in operation. So
yeah, and as he said last
take
week,
months.
He's trying to build more buildings to do things with the dogs, and now this is a setback. I don't know how to interpret this. If God heard the program and went, "You call me a prankster? You want to see a prank? I'll prank you." And maybe we look at it another way, where he's drawing attention to Project Canine Hero as only God can.
So with that, kudos to our regular contributor, Tracy from Wisconsin. She was posting pictures on Facebook today. She went out and bought a bunch of Project K9 Hero swag. She had a new t-shirt. She had some stickers. And this might be a really good time for the rest of us to step up if you can.
Yes, he has a couple hundred dogs, I believe he said, in his care right now. And they'd like to take more in, but they need to get more buildings to do what they need to do. So if you can help in any way, please do. And speaking of Tracy, I have thoroughly enjoyed using my stainless steel ice cube tray that she sent me. She sent me a few months back, and I got rid of, we had some plastic ones, and I think plastic, enough of that, recycle those
Oh,
bastards.
the ones that are
Yeah, you twist it. No.
does
When
nothing.
I was growing up, you went to the freezer and you pulled out the metal tray, and then you pulled that handle up, and all the ice would crack. And yeah, you work the handle back and forth, and then
Your
that's the
hand
way.
would stick to it a little bit
Yeah,
because it was just cold enough. And if you
yeah,
had, yeah.
yeah. And it reminds me of the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when Leonardo DiCaprio's character is in his kitchen making margaritas, and he's got the pull, because that's all they had back then. And
Sure.
he's got the blender going, he's making the margaritas, and he hears some noise out on the street in front of the house, and he looks through the window. Goddamn motherfucking hippies. And he goes out there, confronts what are the Manson killers,
Right.
if you've seen the movie. Yeah, but
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
yeah, oops. So he's got one of those metal, everybody did. You can't build a better mousetrap. Those are the best.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, and thanks to Tracy, we have more fun stuff for our giveaway today, including some bendables and tattoos and all sorts of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we'll get into that. Mike Maskow, the proprietor of Roast to Order Coffee and Tea, he got a hold of Jason right after the show because he wants to try to do some charity work to help Project K9 Hero. And he heard back from Jason almost immediately on Sunday, spoke to the director. Heaven is, wow, this is getting weird now. Heaven, this is her name, is the director there. Heaven said she will not find, well,
So you will not find a more passionate, harder working guy than
that's
Jason.
Mike talking about Heaven. Well,
no,
the Heaven,
that's Heaven talking about Jason.
Heaven's talking about Jason. Okay.
That you won't find a harder working guy.
I think if you ask Mike, Heaven probably would fill that bill too. It's Heaven. You can't name somebody Heaven if
Heaven is a place
they're not
where
awesome.
Nothing ever happens. Yeah.
Okay. So, anywho, few things that have happened over the past week, and that's why we get together on this particular evening, the end of the week, to say whatever that was, whatever Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson and Jerry Springer went through.
James Corden.
My God.
Oh my God. The media, everything is topsy-turvy now.
I like how these, and I've told you and not that I'm as famous as James Corden, but I don't get these long goodbyes, and it's just people stroking them. Oh my God, I can't believe you're leaving. He was only on the show 8 years. That used to be 8 years for a talk show. Tell me when you've done 20 or 30, and then do one night and goodbye. But he's acting like he's got terminal cancer. Well, I got to go back to England and raise my kids. Okay, you had an incredible job. Just go. Jeez.
Well, and to be honest, I can't say that I ever watched more than about 6 minutes of the guy because he's insufferable.
Well, he likes to insert himself into everybody's act. And I think the deal breaker for you was when he had Paul McCartney on, and they stop at a pub in England, and Paul's got his band, and
Sir Paul McCartney.
Right. Yeah. And then James ends up on stage kind of pushing Paul out of the way, but I'm here.
Yeah, doesn't anybody recognize me? And because he's trying to shout from the back and everything. It's like, just shut up and
you
let
got
Paul
a gift handed to you for 8 years. Just be humble, and I don't need any more accolades. I'll take my money and go back to England and whatever. But they act like it's reinventing smoke. These people all have incredible jobs.
Maybe he can work on Cats too. because that was such a success.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just don't like that long goodbye stuff. I'd rather go Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon style, which I have. I have had that moment where, hey, I'll see you on Monday. Monday, gone, crickets. Can't say goodbye, but I guess I wouldn't say much of a goodbye anyway. But Jesus, this whole, well, I'm going to have all the people that are my close personal friends, and it's all of the celebrities, and they're just one big club of, well, I'm glad you people are having a good life while the people in Sudan are suffering.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, I don't know, where is his next job going to come from? And yeah, like he's going to be at the unemployment office on Monday. Please.
Oh my God.
It's going to be okay.
Creeps me out. Okay, where are we in the program? We're about almost halfway through the flight. But if we get a tailwind, these things sometimes can end early. We don't know. This is a commando show. Hey, next week, I will have a guest on. A friend of mine has come up with a device called a pop rack. And it's installed on, if you have a van and you use the van to go camping and stuff, he has come up with this design that attaches to the top of a van, and it you bring it up, and then you can put a mattress in there and sleep people up there, and you can access it inside the van. Most of these vans that do those conversions, there's a ladder outside. You got to climb up, and no. My friend Richard has come up with this design where you crawl, you have a ladder, you go right up in a little hatch in the van.
So it's a temporary loft.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
And you could get more people if you want to have more people sleep in the van. You pop the top up while you're parked, and then you go up there and sleep, and then the thing folds down, and it's cheaper than a lot of these conversions. So I'll have Richard on next week to talk about this and show us what he came up with. It's called the pop rack.
and at this stage of the game, I think is it Portland that is saying if you want to set up a tent on a sidewalk, that's considered a permanent residence now for some people. The idea of sleeping in your van doesn't
Down by the
really
river?
sound quite as taboo as it used to.
Right.
It's almost starting to seem like, well, that's a possibility. And I hear you're supposed to get a gym membership so you can shower, but otherwise,
Okay.
yeah.
And,
Well, yeah,
and
the van
JL
is rock-
says, you know what happens if the van is rocking? Don't go a knocking. You're in a van down by the river, thrice married. That's how that rolls. Okay. So there's that next Friday. And it's hard to believe that we're already done with April. Where the hell is everything going? Is the earth spinning faster? We think it is. Conspicuous by her absence, the official bartender of the GarrForce, Jenna Duddleston, was not on this month because she was busy, but she will be back next month to treat us to some of her creations in the drink department.
She seems to be having an okay time.
Yeah.
She is not absent because something bad's going on.
No. In fact, Ryan
she seems to be having a lot of fun.
sent me a picture. Where did you see that picture of her, Ryan?
It was on Instagram. It looked like she was somewhere, had a drink in the hand, somewhere in warm, sunny tropics, enjoying herself.
Yeah, with her sister, right?
Yes, I think it was her sister.
And they were in bikinis.
Yes, they were.
Uh-oh. Angry mama.
When are we going on our goddamn trip?
Yeah. Okay,
I
Angry.
got a bikini. Well, actually, I don't because I don't really have a body, but fuck that.
Okay, Angry.
Really?
Wow.
Easy.
She's
Easy.
lit up. Okay. And Ryan, how was your week?
Hey, it was okay.
Wow.
It was a busy it was a busy week. I think everybody here in Wisconsin's done with Aaron Rodgers, so good riddance, you know.
Wow. I had this this conversation on one of the shows this week where this guy, Hall of Famer, gave Packer fans a lot to be happy about. And now when it's time to go, get out of here, you piece of shit. They painted over a mural in Green Bay of him.
Before he was probably out of town. I mean, that was just like, yeah, we're done.
It was time. I mean, his last season was okay, but it was time. He needs to regroup. The team needs to regroup. Yep. What did he do wrong?
Yeah, I think everybody was the drama around. Where's he going? Is he going to the Jets? What's going on? I think that was everybody was just either leave or stay. but don't drag us through
Okay.
you know.
All right.
So I think that's the, you know, if it was a clean, yeah, I'm leaving, thank you, see you later, would have been better. But I think everybody's just done about hearing about him.
Okay. And in your Wisconsin report, I don't want to do stuff that you've got in the report. Are you going to do it live?
Yeah,
or-
I have a couple things, but you
okay.
can go
Does
ahead.
it involve your son Hank and his bowling ball?
No, it does not.
Okay. So Hank, if you are a frequent viewer of this, you know that Hank is a bowler and he's really into it. And he went to a tournament recently, right? And he got a ball from one of the players.
Yeah, they went to the PBA, Professional Bowling Association finals or tournament in Waukesha, which is close to Milwaukee. And when they were done, one of the guys had 2 balls and gave it to him and another kid signed. So
Is it like baseball? Does he just lob it into
the crowd? Yeah.
Into the crowd. I got it. Oh.
I got it. Oh no. Oh no. I got a concussion. I'm concussed.
I think it was good. He had met him the week before, so I think he was a familiar face, and you know, so they've been hitting the Pro Bowler circuit pretty hard. So he was happy to come home with that. And one of the other guys signed his 100, printout when he bowled 100 and said, "You need to bowl 125." And he went to the lanes that day and bowled 125. So
nice looking ball. If you have a picture and you want to show it,
I don't. I'll load it for next week. But
yeah,
it's
a
Let
beautiful
me see your
ball.
ball.
Yeah.
So,
hey kids, I got a couple balls here. Who wants one?
So it's sitting on the shelf, and I said that's probably not the best shelf because if it falls down, the dog sleeps right underneath it, and it'll injure the dog. But
yeah, keep it low.
Keep it low, with the signed pins. Pretty soon we'll have to just create a room that's all bowling. So
and don't use alien tape for anything over 3 pounds.
I think that's like a 12-pound ball. So
yeah,
work.
I wanted to be a big alien tape fan. It just didn't perform. And they have these commercials that say that it'll hold all this stuff, barbells and whatever, to the wall, and it doesn't. I don't know how they get away with it. All right, this is Mike. Ryan, don't let strangers in bowling alleys give their balls to your kids. Okay, Mike, come on.
And here's one more. I knew this was coming, so this is a surprise for Hank. Scott's sending him a pool cue, so we're gonna get him into the pool too. So he'll bowl and then go right into the pool hall.
And Scott is the proprietor of the shop in Aurora, Illinois, that
North
Leslie
Aurora.
has been to. And
Scott's
and Ryan.
Vintage Antiques and Collectibles in North Aurora. He, by the way, is providing the chattering teeth that we will be giving away on today's show, along with one of his magic fish. Let's see, where am I going with the magic fish? It went crazy curly. What does that mean? Crazy curly.
Tells a fortune. It's like a poor man's 8-ball.
Curling head and tail. I'm in love. I'm in love.
Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
All right. And you showed me before we went on this item that Ryan got on his journey from the Carolinas and back at a sex shop.
Yes, they had a section in Asheville, North Carolina. It was like a novelty shop, and in the back they had some adult entertainment. And
emergency piercings. There are 4 different sizes, supposedly. These are the sharpest, meanest pieces of plastic I've ever experienced in my life. Let's go ahead and open it.
Why would you need to pierce in an emergency? I don't get that title.
It's not
like a clip-on earrings. It's the cheap version of a clip-on earring.
And I remember when they used to make like magnet earrings for guys who didn't want to get the actual piercing. I bought my husband one, as a matter of fact. That wasn't bad, but let's see if I can't find one with a nice gap. Here's a gap.
So you tried one on your nose.
I did, and
it hurt so bad. There it is. That is beautiful.
Or here. I mean, seriously.
Hey, put it back in your nose. I want to do something. Hey,
back in your nose. We're gonna isolate that.
I'll have a venti decaf.
Exactly. But I got to put 6 more of these on me. Yes, sir.
And a tattoo.
And the name.
I can order. Ouch.
Oh, so we're going to give those away at some point in the future.
Yeah, if you
Not
need
today.
to pierce in an
really
emergency.
hurt.
Yes.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks
You're
a lot.
welcome. You're welcome. The condoms were a little safer venture than those, but
yeah, he was
Who
at
would
a
have thunk it?
Bucky's too on the travels, and this is quite the American experience. 175 gas pumps, food aplenty, and souvenirs
up the wazoo.
And it was just printing money.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you should have got the Bucky magnet too, Leslie, right? That came with
I did.
yes.
Honestly, I would have it up here, except it's on the refrigerator.
Yeah,
where
that's where it belongs.
That's where
Yes.
you put it.
Yes.
Here,
And
I have
instead-
mine.
God, my eyes are still watering. He's serious.
Leslie,
Yeah. It's in the.
If it hurts, you know it's working, as they say.
Right.
Well, and that's it. It was
There it
probably in the BDSM section of the store because.
Not Bucky.
Wow,
yeah.
that-
All right. Wow.
Wow.
I don't know how people do that. And it takes away from your beauty, Leslie. All right.
Oh,
And,
thank you, Anna.
Isn't that nice? I don't know why people pierce certain parts of their body because I just the thought of it hurts. Nipples, nose, genitals, navel.
Well,
Why?
we had a story this week about a dad who got in trouble in, I believe it was either Oklahoma or Arkansas, because his kid went to school with a brand new ear piercing. That seems benign enough, but the kid was explaining to his classmates that dad was drunk, put me in a chokehold, and then pierced my ears.
Yeah.
And that's when all of a sudden Child Protective Services came in and went, yeah, that's not how one gets one's ears pierced.
Yeah.
Go to Claire's. They're still in the mall, right?
Yeah, maybe.
What is it?
Claire's.
They pierce?
Yeah, they're like for little girls. They have all the frilly earrings, and I guess guys could go there too. But
only earrings. Yeah, they don't do anything else. Yeah,
I don't know
knows
how
that.
you get your nether regions done. Who does that? Is that in the tattoo parlor?
Tattoo parlor.
Because they're professionals. You know, it's like going to a doctor.
Of course,
they're used to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't get the Brazilian either at the salon, so I don't know how that works. I know how it works
because
but
Gary wants his heart shaped.
Well, yes, I need something for the summer. What was that you put up, Ryan? I didn't see that.
There's
tongue
a tongue stud.
Yeah, that's another. How do you? Yeah, the tongue.
I have a friend who still has one, and
But what is the?
You just
point of
dive
it?
in.
What pleasure does it? Well, does it give?
Come on,
I just
think
answered
about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I caught it. I caught it right there. Yeah.
Yep. I do have a few pictures that we gathered this
All
week
right.
too. If you
Let's
want
take a look at these.
I'm gonna turn my camera off. This is the way to have a bar.
Doctor suggests that I install a bar in my shower due to my age. Yeah, there it is, and there it is. There's your bar.
She's got it all, everything well stocked.
Yeah. All right.
Glass.
All right. Leslie had this story this week about is it a zoo in England?
It's a zoo in Blackpool that is looking for people to wear an eagle costume and scare away the seagulls, because the seagulls have been stealing food not only from the human visitors but from the animal enclosures as well.
Okay, speaking of eagles, did you watch any of the NFL draft, which has become a TV extravaganza?
I don't get it. And are they betting? I mean, is there betting on the draft?
I don't. Probably there's betting on everything, but the people show up as they do at football games, and they're totally immersed in this, and they're all dressed in costumes, and there were many thousands of people at wherever this was. The NFL is brilliant in marketing. They have got this thing down like a Stradivarius. They play it.
Well, you know, they're a nonprofit, and that's the other part
Okay.
that blows my mind. Oh no, we're just a nonprofit,
And then
we're
all
doing
the
this for the sake of our people.
right. We it's a nonprofit. We
care.
zero out the books at the end of the year. It's this Jerry Springer thing. I don't know if you saw the coverage on that. They acted like the Pope had died, and then they go and show the clips of people throwing chairs at each other.
And once again, I'm pretty sure the shows are going to run for the next 15 years, and they're thinking, well, at least we don't have to pay Jerry anymore.
Well, no,
So,
Jerry's probably got some sign off to a family
in
member, the
perpetuity,
estate.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's pay homage to the fine sponsors that keep all this going now 7 years in. And first, it's the Bettenhausen Automotive folks doing a great job, as they always do.
See why the Chrysler Pacifica is considered the best road trip minivan in its class at Bettenhausen Chrysler in Tinley Park. Right now, get $1,000 bonus cash on your family's new 2023 Chrysler Pacifica. Have a safe and secure family trip this season. The Pacifica has the most standard safety and security features in its class, and it's the most technologically advanced minivan in America. Lease a new Chrysler Pacifica for only $459 per month. Your best buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Yeah. And if you're nowhere near Illinois, try to look at their price. Well, you can. You don't have to try. Look at the prices and check your local dealer. And I think Bettenhausen's going to beat the price. And then call Bettenhausen and see if they can ship the car to you. How about that?
I don't know who does their commercials, but he sounds very professional.
Yes, he does.
I like what he does there.
Yeah, baby. All right. And Mike Mascow is in the queue, and we love talking about roast to order coffee and tea because he's such a good guy. And he was telling me, and then I told you this week, about how you go to his website and you can hit a prompt and send coffee to somebody else, and they will get a discount, and then you'll get a discount. And there's a lot of discounting going on if you do things, if you like to save money.
May I just say a great big thank you to one of our viewers who anonymously sent a gift card my way because they recognize that I send out all the other prize packages of my own volition, but they just wanted to give a little something back, and this was the perfect way to do it. They sent Mike notification, and through Mike sent me a gift card. So hey, I don't know who you are, but God, that was so nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's what our listeners do. We really get some nice stuff from them, and we really appreciate it. All right, so go to roasttoorder.com, the number 2, you see it there, and send out some coffee, get some coffee or tea for yourself, organically grown. You know Mike, you've seen him on the program maybe. He gives out gift cards when he's on with us. He's a very generous man, and we love having him as a sponsor.
And Mike's going, refer a friend, refer a friend, whatever.
Refer a friend.
Whatever.
refer one, whatever you need to do.
Whatever.
Yes, you'll see it on the website, how to do that and get a discount and everything. And David Hochberg, the mortgage expert, here he is, handsome man. The climate out there, boy, you hear all this stuff, and if you were going to buy a house 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, now you're scared off and you're still wanting to buy. Maybe the house is cheaper than it was a year ago. Call them for the free consultation and see where you're at. Don't just abandon the project because, as David told us a year and a half ago, when the rates were 3, what did he say? If you're ready to buy, you're looking to buy, do it because these rates are not going to stay at the 3s. And he was right.
And then when the rates started going up, he said there's a way to buy so that when the rates come back down, you can refi. You know, and that's the beauty of someone like David, who can talk you through whatever the market has to throw at you.
And the stuff that you think is obvious, it's not. It's not obvious. He knows all of the nooks and crannies of the mortgage industry. He's been doing it a long time. And he went through 2008, which he said was the worst disaster he's ever seen. It's not that bad right now. Let him walk you through the process with the free consultation. Those are the numbers.
You know, they're talking about slow housing starts, but there is a street in our area here. And honestly, there have to be at least a dozen houses in the process of being built right this very minute. So, you know, there are winners, there are losers, there are ways to navigate this, and having someone like him on your side, I'm pretty sure is going to make it easier.
Waiting sometimes is the worst thing you can do because things change and now it's even more of an obstacle. All right. Ryan, how are you? Still good? You're doing a fine job, my man.
Still good. Still good. Clicking
Fine
buttons, doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And we did all of the pictures. Now,
I actually have, I have one more here. Oh, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Here, this was the last one.
Oh, wow.
Now, I assume that's some kind of cattle semen.
But
or that looks like an anhydrous ammonia. It's nitrogen container. So this must just be the, I don't know.
The coolant. Well,
yeah.
I can talk to this for a moment because my sister did artificial insemination, and the sperm is held in containers. There are pipettes that are involved, but normally one doesn't think of it coming in a tanker. One would think of them being in smaller compartments, but hey.
And when you say coming in a tanker, that is not a pun.
No.
I know. Although if you talk to her real nice, the cow it can be miserable for everyone involved.
And maybe a high school kid somewhere is thinking, boy, if I could get that truck and park it in front of the school during prom.
There you go.
Prom season. Gary,
Hmm?
are we getting into prom season, which is what comes next?
Carnival well, you got prom. Yeah, we got prom, tornado, carnival mishaps, and medical waste washing up on beaches. Yeah, we're heading into all those seasons.
So exciting.
Graduation. Yeah, it's all coming. Very nice. And is that the last picture? This
this is kind of what we talked about a little bit. So
here's another story that I saw on the net. This woman went to a school board meeting because what are the details?
I think she was appalled at some of the school districts around Wisconsin that are teaching sex ed or showing sex toys to young kids. So she took these to the school board meeting and shook them in front of everybody.
Why would they be showing sex toys to kids?
That's the question. Yeah. And this is where,
okay.
Too puritanical, not good. Too far the other direction, not good.
Now, sex education, that's valuable. And I think that's where she was swinging with, well, we start with sex education, then they start bringing sex toys in. And I looked for a clean feed, meaning what she was holding up. I don't think it's a vibrator. By the way she was talking, I don't think that's what she was holding up.
Yeah. And it was scrubbed from the school district. So there is no everything's been blurred. They blurred it for the protection of the children.
Okay.
There was a big disclaimer on there. So,
yeah. All right.
So for us, 12-year-old humor, we want to see what she's holding.
Of course we do.
We're out of luck. We're out of luck. So the only other two things, this is what's really going on in Waukesha. Here's someone that called the police because they were angry because they lost their basketball at the YMCA. And the funny part is, if you listen to the audio, the dispatcher has the hiccup so bad she can hardly talk. She gets giggly dispatching the officers there. It's like, 34 seconds of hilarity. So to go into
have the audio?
I do. And I figure it's safe to play because it's public, it's
we'll find out.
Yeah. Let me do this. And then I'll do that.
She actually dispatched police for this?
Yes.
It's Waukesha. They have to.
Okay. So let's do this.
911. What's your
Waukesha
emergency?
Dispatch, may I help you? What is your problem? Somebody stole my basketball.
This is a recreation.
Mm-hmm. We might have to recreate it. Trouble in the cockpit? Smoke in the cockpit, Ryan?
He's smiling. He's still working it.
So yeah, it's pretty funny that it's kind of a goofy call anyway. And then she's.
Well, you don't have the audio?
Did I not play? Did it not come through?
Play.
Oh, it didn't.
No.
Oh, it didn't come through. I don't know how to do that.
Oh,
then.
no wonder he was smiling. Oh well.
Okay. All right.
But let me do this. So that's and then the other one. This was at a nursing home. They said all the residents were accounted for, but there's a ghost upstairs and called police. 2 units responding.
A resident said there was a ghost.
Yeah, well, they said the staff said they heard someone on the second floor. Nobody's allowed up on the second floor. Everybody's accounted for. So there's a ghost, and they.
Well, in a nursing home, a ghost Probably every night there's
Yeah.
going to be one
Yeah.
way or another.
So that's what's going on at Waukesha. Yeah, I'll work on getting that audio I thought it would play through the
Do you want to play George's fake
yes,
audio?
Let me
Our friend George has
me do a
fun
few
with the
things
show
here.
by taking audio and rearranging it. I hope it's rearranged. And he sent us this.
I don't know.
Let me get there.
And this is a deep fake.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is the biggest hose bag in the history of American radio.
That's true.
Would you say
Start it
Leslie,
again.
that Garry is
Yep, here.
Yeah, start again.
the biggest hose bag in the history of American radio?
That's true.
Would you say, Leslie, that Garry is the biggest hose bag in the history of American radio?
That's true.
No. Okay.
No, you decide.
All right. Oh, well. All right. Thank you,
So
Ryan.
that's all I have.
That's good enough. Now, we should find the phrase that pays, get that in the queue while you do your stories, Leslie.
What do we... It's Ryan who's got to type this thing in there. So let's keep it pretty simple. Hashtag Friday. How about that? Hashtag
right.
Friday.
So that's FRIYAY.
FYAY.
Hashtag Friday.
FRIYAY.
YAY. It's not Friday. It's Friday.
Put that in the queue if you want to try
so I
to
should
win
probably
this.
explain
Hey,
that. In
I gotta-
addition...
Okay, what do you put?
Is that
okay,
right?
Go ahead.
Did I spell that right?
Yay.
No.
Yes.
No, you
No.
made it Frayaya.
Yeah, hang on. Hang on. Yes.
Frayaya. Friday. YAY.
There we
No,
go.
no, still isn't right.
Hang on. I can't spell
The
tonight.
listeners already have
of
it.
him.
The viewers have
we
it.
were, you guys are
We were
all over
doing
it.
so well. I've got to get it over to the
They-
computer. So
No.
It's
No?
No, I had that for lunch. The Frayaya.
Okay.
It's
It's
FRIYAY.
delicious. It's from Spain.
There it is. I've got it. Sorry, we hit a little goo.
Oh, if that's goo, please.
Yeah, that's light.
Did you
goo.
see James Corden's last show? I can only
Ooh,
assume that
that's
there was
heavy
goo.
goo.
Was there goo?
Well, you saw the semen truck.
Okay.
Roll up the semen truck.
So Friday, FRIYAY.
All right, Stick Safe has attacked, and that is rude. Now, I want to put a
hey.
bat. Yeah, I'm glad he did attack. We've got to put the bat signal out. Stick Save won last week. Stick Save, if you sent me your info, I didn't see it. Can you send it again? Garry Meier's show at GarryMeier.com, because Leslie asked me, and I said, oh, I thought I sent it, but I don't know.
I've got your mega pack right here. I mean, it was quite a hefty mailing that was headed your way. And
Yeah, Stick Save,
yeah.
you won last week, so please get a hold of me. Give me your address, and we'll get it to you. All right, so we're all set. Friday, and now these stories.
A 79-year-old man in Illinois is under arrest for the murder of his neighbor, all because of a disagreement over a leaf blower. According to investigators, Ettore, it's Ettore. I have not seen that. Ettore Lachey confronted his neighbor William Martys around 7:30 on April 12th. This is 7:30 p.m. as Mr. Martys was clearing his driveway. In the heat of this argument, Lachey pulled out a gun and shot Mr. Martys once in the head. The weapon was recovered near the scene. A neighbor says the two men had some ongoing grievances and that Mr. Lachey had pulled a gun on Mr. Martys at least once before.
Okay, because of the leaf blowing.
Once again, people pull into somebody's driveway and try to turn around and somebody gets shooty. Some kids are offering apologies for the cow
in the
that they
neighborhood,
let loose. Dear Lord, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a human at your doorstep.
It's just a leaf
Relax.
blower.
It's golly. A routine traffic stop in Scotland ended up with police confiscating over $12,000 in heroin and cocaine and a lamb. As officers interviewed the three adult occupants, the canine unit named Billy alerted them that there was more going on here than just bad driving. That's when police uncovered the drugs. Then there happened to be this lamb that was sitting in the back seat. That lamb has since been placed in the care of a local farmer. In a post on social media, the police department lamented the fact that the car was not a Lamborghini.
Grr. Was the lamb in the back seat doing blow? What was the?
It
This
was
is that
sitting
whole.
next.
Yeah. What?
It was sitting next to a bag of crisps.
Okay. This is that whole concept of drug people having animals around. They love having different kind of animals around whatever they do. I don't know why. Lamb in
El
the back seat.
Chapo's hippos and
Yeah.
all these other things. Yeah. And invariably, it's that one stupid thing that really takes you down. This might have been just a speeding ticket, but now you got a lamb. Now
Oh, you, ooh. How do you say you? Ooh, right? How do you say that? You. Emu, emu. Liberty, liberty, liberty. We got to go again. Have you seen the one with the car wash? With the emu in the car wash?
I kind of don't.
We got to go again.
And honestly, I thought that ad campaign would run its course really quickly, but dang, man, they're giving Flo a run for her money.
Oh, yeah. I remember them now. I like him in the car wash with the emu. They're walking through the car wash. If you haven't seen it, there's a guy going through the car wash, and the guy, the Liberty spokes guy, is tapping on the window. Hey, you got a nice face. And he's talking about the insurance. And there's the emu in the car wash, all sudsy. And they get out, and then we got to go again.
You know, he's got a job kind of like we've been talking about Pat Sajak and like those perfect little jobs that, okay, no, you're not George Clooney, you're not Julia Roberts or anything like that.
Steady
But you
paycheck,
find it, and this guy, we don't even know, he's not even as well known as Mayhem.
Right. But he's there all the time and probably making a damn good living.
Cha-ching. There's a peacock on the loose in the Bronx, and he's not to be trifled with. At least one resident reports having a run-in with the elusive bird that left him pretty scratched up. Though it's unconfirmed, there is reason to believe this bird may have escaped from the Bronx Zoo. If so, it turns out it's not the first time. So they keep peacocks or peafowl at the zoo, and now they're just running rampant.
And I hope that bird goes to that stairwell where Joker did that dance, because that's in the Bronx.
That would be cool.
Finger gun. Finger gun.
Do we want one more?
Yeah, because we got to get to the top of the hour in the tone.
Oh, do we? Okay.
We do. Oh, yes. FCC requirement.
In that case, this one's a good one. If you're headed to Spain, you can take dwarf bullfighting off your to-do list. Spain's parliament voted this week to ban what they termed comic bullfighting. No, we'll talk after. But anyway, more specifically, they're talking about events that feature people with dwarfism dressed in costumes and chasing bulls for laughs. Disability rights groups have praised the decision to cancel the practice that they say subjected participants to mockery in the public square. However, some of the actual performers are protesting the decision, says one, quote, "They take it for granted that people are being denigrated or laughed at, and it's the opposite. The respect they have for us is impressive."
This sounds like the next Jackass movie.
Well, and that's kind of what these guys are saying is like, hey, this is our livelihood, and now we're unemployed.
Let us worry about the way it's looked at, the lens through which you look at it. Let us worry about it. We're the little people.
Oh, literally.
Literally.
Literally. But on top of that, I believe Spain is still one of the only places on the planet where they do the barbaric kind of bullfighting, where they don't just like toy with the bull. They then have to have the, picaderos out there and cause this animal to half bleed out, go crazy in pain, and then kill it at the end. So that's okay.
Every country's not woke, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. And as much as we hate America sometimes, let's face it, we canceled James Corden for God's sake. But yeah,
he canceled himself. I think it wasn't a. Oh, there it is. Top of the hour. We got to go to traffic, news, weather, sports. We're back in 15 minutes.
One last story, since
wow, you're really.
I don't have. Although traffic's looking good outside my window, but beside that, despite having previous suits dismissed, a man in California is once again suing a psychic that he says failed to remove a curse placed on him by his ex-girlfriend. Mario Restrepo says Sophia Adams charged him $1,000 as a down payment on a magical crystal that was supposed to undo the mala suerte, or bad luck, that he was experiencing because of the curse placed on him by his ex. But for some reason, the crystal didn't work. And when he asked for a refund, Ms. Adams threatened to curse him even further if he attempted to cancel her services. He's now seeking $25,000 in damages.
The crystal didn't work? Really?
Go
That's
figure.
Unusual.
I know.
$1,000.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay. Anybody
but that
who
was
does
just the down payment. It was supposed to be a $5,000.
Seriously.
Well, you want good crystal?
Or you want the full crystal treatment, or you want just $1,000 worth? They deserve.
Well,
listen, let them lose their souls. They're animals. It's an infamia.
It is.
We are ready to give away a bunch of stuff, and that would be through the computer.
Wait, let me explain the rest of the giveaway. So we do have the chattering teeth. We do have the bendables. We have, of course, a ball liquor. We have a wine condom. We have the tattoos from Tracy in Wisconsin. Lots of tattoos. Removable, of course. I found this and it just spoke to me. It's a vintage postcard from Mackinac Bridge or the Mackinac Bridge. I don't know, but it's a
vintage.
Postcard. It's vintage.
It's vintage.
And of course, house band, oh yes, who hopefully will be joining us in future shows.
Yes, they will.
We've got a t-shirt and a sticker. So
wow,
how's
that is a very robust package.
And the magic fish from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles.
Well, somebody's going to win all that right now. Ryan, you want to pull up the computer and hit the button?
Ready?
Fry yay. Yay, yay, yay. You want to say hello to somebody? No? Ona's Tarot. Okay. And Ona, just email me, Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com with your address, and I'll get that to Leslie. Okay.
Stick save, you do too.
Yeah, it's stick save. Make sure we get yours again. If you sent it before, I didn't see it, whatever. All right, that's it. It is time for the cannoli coming down the aisle. Take it. It's delicious. And whoa. Where? There it is. Whoa. Huh? Love the chips. Delicious. What about the schnauzer this weekend, Leslie?
The schnauzer, it's an infamia. Wait, you say it. I love when you say that word.
Yeah, let them lose their souls. It's an infamia.
Infamia.
So what do you do with it?
I don't know. Just deal with it because it's an infamia.
Okay, just deal with it. It's your choice with the schnauzer. 3 of the green, gear is down, flaps are down. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. The GarrForce has landed.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And please tell your friends and family to like and subscribe too.
YouTube.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel. That's what you should do. That's where we gather. Boom. Shakalaka.